Today we're going to be talking about Hacktoberfest events and how things went, what some of the results were. We won't be able to go into everything, but we'll show you some of the high points. We'll also talk about the swag store, what we built, some of those other fun things. Should be a good time. Vahar, you want to go ahead and pull up the presentation that'll guide us through?
Yes, I was just checking YouTube if we are live, and yeah, we are right on time. With that, let me quickly share
Perfect.
my screen. Okay,
Fantastic. Look at that. Alrighty. So we're going to try and go through this pretty quickly. Shouldn't be too much time, but be sure to ask any questions, and we'll make sure and either answer them in the flow, or we'll explicitly wait until we get to the end. Great. So first off, a couple of things. Vahar is going to kick us off here by talking about a few of the top contributors. We had some great folks take part. We had lots of great stuff come in. A ton of people taking part in the mini quests and being active on Discord and eager to play in the games we kind of put together. But there were a few key people who really went above and beyond. We want to kind of call out some of those as inspiration. Next, we'll take a look at the top few submissions. We got 4 kind of high-level submissions we want to show. Again, we don't have enough time to show everything. But if you go to the Foundry repo, there will be a link later. You'll be able to see everything that was submitted, see all the things people put in, what was accepted. And there's some great stuff there. You might find something useful. Then we're going to talk a little bit about kind of the more of a review. I'm just going to talk for a few minutes about what went really well, the kinds of things that we want to build on, we want to do more of, and then what can be improved. Obviously, there's always things that can be better. Some things were a little rough. We learned some lessons, wanted to share what some of those are. Please, if you're here, definitely make note here or in Discord, or if this is later after it's been on YouTube, it's no longer live, leave comments if there are other things you think we can do well. The final piece, we're going to turn it over to Joseph, who is going to give us a look at the swag store, which was one of the highlights of the entire Hacktoberfest event. And if we're really nice, we might be able to convince him to give us a preview of some of the cool stuff he's working on. And then, as I said, any questions that you've got, let us know. Alrighty, Vahar, why don't you go right ahead?
awesome. Thanks for the intro, Ron. Now I'll talk about some crazy submissions that we had for Hacktoberfest event. This was a pretty tough task for us. We have to go through almost like some 30 great submissions, but these submissions definitely stood out. They have followed all the guidelines and made sure they have the best apps, and here they are. But before I move on to discussing about all the submissions in detail, I just want to take some time to thank all the contributors who had came up with some crazy apps on Appsmith. I hope to see more apps coming in on the Foundry repository. All right. So first we have Amog. He had contributed some 3 crazy PRs. I'll show up some apps that were contributed by him. Next we have Sanju. Sanju is a really active member on our Discord. He helps people out whenever they are stuck building apps on Appsmith. He also shares some crazy ideas around what can be improved and what can be added on to the featured list. Harish is our new contributor. He came up with a really cool app that I'm constantly using when I write blogs or write content in general. So I'm going to quickly walk you through the top apps for this Hacktoberfest edition. But as I said, this was like really hard for us to pick them up. There are like some crazy contributions, but these are something that followed the guidelines and have some great UI in terms of presentation.
Yeah, and one thing just to note, both Amog and Sanju not only contributed to the templates, but also contributed actual issues to the Appsmith project itself, which was amazing. One of the things we wanted to do this year was make it possible for people to contribute not just with code, but also with templates. We got a lot of great responses from that, but wanted to call them out. That was great. They went above and beyond, and as we noted, we were definitely happy to give plenty of awards to people for what they did. So again, thank you to everybody for taking part.
Awesome. Guys, so in case if you want to, get started or, want to contribute more of these templates, you can always hop on our Discord and let us know. And we should be always, there for you to guide you or help you when you are building stuff on apps. All right. So with that being said, let me quickly share some apps that were part of the Hacktoberfest submission. So the first one is, trackyourchessplayer.com. This is basically integrated with the chess.com REST APIs. These are all the things, all the features that were used when building on Appsmith, the table widget, one of our best, always showing up on the first. And the promises, the JavaScript promises, which is super awesome to see for a first time contributor. So let me quickly walk you through this app and, do like a quick review. Awesome. So this is the submission by the contributor. The presentation is awesome. It gives you like a glance of what you can find inside the app and what all different things that were used to build this app. Guys, you can also fork this app by importing this JSON file onto your workspace. So it should be done within 2 clicks. But I'll quickly share you how this app is built. So this is the link to the public app. Let's see how this works. All right. Uh, the UI is super cool with the table widget. They have filters around, grandmasters and all the other players. There is this cool thing called debug stats. It basically tells you if the APIs are working or not. So let me track one,
Yeah,
two,
and
three.
like that was one of the things that was great about this one was the not only was the functionality really good, but there was some really good thought given to how it was built. Like I love the little debug thing. Often that's something that we want to do is like kind of like see what's going on, but to turn it on and off was very clever. And then
Mhm.
the use of that the navigation there, those were buttons, right? Like
Yes.
conditional
Yeah,
buttons or something like
that's cool.
very clever usage of the widgets to do some cool stuff. So,
Yeah, I'm just wondering how much time will it take me to code the same UI when I'm doing it on React or Svelte. It's like, but
oh
but
man,
yeah,
yeah,
cool.
10
All right.
times as long.
Uh, I am a total noob when it comes to chess, so you'll not see any stats. But uh, this is a grandmaster. Last online was around October 22nd. It seems even he is not active. He or she is not active. Oh my God. So there is this user 1E410, and you can see all the stats there. Really great idea. Firstly, because on chess.com, it's like all, at one place. But on the Appsmith side, you can, add the players that you want to track or your friends or your colleagues, anyone, to keep up with how they are doing in chess. Awesome.
Very cool.
All right. Let me go to the next one. So this is from Sanju. The app basically, generates QR code and lets users to verify the code by scanning it. All right. So this is basically built on our latest widget, the code scanner widget. You can literally, scan all the barcodes, QR codes, and it should work. Let's see the contribution here. Awesome. We have the description, we have the screenshots, and let me go through the app. Okay. All right. Love the GIF. Real, proper use of an image widget. You can also add GIFs on the image widget. So there is this generate and there is verify. So let me generate. I'll need to give some data. Let me add like Appsmith and then generate. And there you go. You have the QR code. Awesome. and it is downloading. It's being downloaded as an image, which is super cool. And I
That's
think
awesome.
you can show the same uh, downloaded image to verify, using the code scanner widget. But yeah, super awesome.
Yeah, one of the things I really liked about this one was uh, again using one of the new widgets, which is awesome to
Right.
see. The fact that it is very clean, very simple, it feels very app-like, and just the animated GIF is just such a great touch.
Right.
Really, really good example of how something can be simple and very elegant.
Right. Awesome. Let's quickly move on to the next one. So we have Harish. All right, my favorite one is here. It's called the character count tool. I was completely surprised seeing the submission because we wanted to build one on Appsmith, but definitely we are going to use this as a base. Or else, Harish, we would be more than happy if you could extend this and make it like a crazy tool for content writers in general. The screenshots are awesome. The description, the submission is awesome. Let me quickly uh, go through the app. All right. I think this uses theming. That's the reason why the canvas is all in the sea blue color. And here you'll not see anything, but that's the magic. So I'll quickly go through one of our blogs and copy some text, maybe our last roundup. Okay, let me copy some content. This should be fine. Our rich text editor is here. That's all. So you'll basically have all the stats from your content, the number of characters, words, sentences, letters, and spaces, which is super cool. Uh, Basically, I myself, when I'm writing, a blog post or something, I keep like a character limit, like 1,500 words or 2,000 words, and it's pretty much hard for me to. I mean, there are like plugins on. Google Docs, but you'll it takes some additional clicks. But I would rather use Appsmiths, directly to write here to validate my content and directly post it on Medium with a click or something. This is definitely super cool. But probably we could add more AI features to this, and let GPT write for us. I think it's definitely possible with Open AI's APIs. I'm gonna try that hack probably this weekend.
The other thing I really dig about it is that the last sentence there, learn how the JavaScript was done to do this. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was a nice touch where it's not just a useful tool. It is thinking about like people extending it or using it, kind of learning. I thought that was a
Mhm.
cool feature as well.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I
really
love
great submission.
regex. I love regex and JavaScript. So like Vahar's writes a lot of our blog content, and so for him, it's like the useful tool, like the front end side of it. I'm looking under the hood, and I like seeing how it was built. So it was a great submission.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are super useful, and I think this app can be extended in like some crazy way, and probably like be one of the competitors for Chrome's plugin. All right. Let me go to the last submission, which is a movie app dashboard. So this is why Muse, but I'll quickly go through the one. But then the detail is awesome. He used Gmail SMTP integration, Carbon API for report generation, and you can also send PDFs via email. So a lot of logic in here. But let's quickly go through the submission. All right. Just amazed to see the UI. Let me go through the app. Awesome. Okay, I think this is a loading screen, which is super cool. Even I haven't done a loading screen on Appsmith, but I'll definitely check it out around how we can do loading screens on Appsmith. Cool. So we have dashboards, we have all logs here. I think you can search for movies. Uh, there is this. profile, which is super cool. You can extend this with authentication and also save all your searches or dashboard. Uh, there's also a contact page where you can directly send an email to the contributor, which is super cool. There is this filter. Let me quickly, so from 2020 to 2022, it's loading. All right. With this, I should be able to see all the stats, you know, from the movie API that the contributor has used. So the average rating was around 7.71, total votes at 27K. There are like total 19 movies that were released in the selected genre, and generate report. I think this is using Carbon API at the back. So downloading a report. Awesome. So basically, you'll have like an entire report downloaded in PDF, and you can
So
also see the
cool.
top three movies. Just ignore the watermark. I think it's because of the free Carbon API trail.
Hmm.
But you can also pick API template Carbon. Like we have bunch of tutorials around using different services to integrate to basically let reports downloaded from the Appsmith app. But this is super cool. Definitely, there is a lot of effort in terms of UI, but I think with Appsmith it's like super easy. I really love the rounded theme. But yeah, I think even this can be extended in like some crazy ways. All right,
Yeah,
folks.
the some
Yeah,
good
go on.
features on this one. Yeah, some really good features, good examples. Like this is one of the things that's so fun about this is to see where people's imagination goes and putting some of these different pieces together. And again, we had a lot more submissions than this, but we can't show everything or we'd be here for like 2 hours. So we wanted to pick out a few of the key ones, not just because they, won some prizes, but also because, like we just saw, there were some really cool things in there that could be inspirational or you could learn from. All of this stuff is in the Foundry repo, so go check it out and find some good stuff, get some inspiration for the next one.
All right. Yeah, I think Ron had summarized most of the things that I wanted to convey. Really super apps, for this Hacktoberfest edition. And soon we are also coming up with different ways around how, you can contribute templates in an, consistent way, not just for Hacktoberfest. Of course, there are some cool swag and everything that's already set up. But we are super excited, about it, and we will announce that soon.
Awesome. Vahar, do you mind sharing the deck one more time, please?
Yes.
Since you already had it pulled up.
All right.
And looks like we've been we're in the presence of famous people. Confidence is here, everybody. Confidence has been he's been out for a little while. He's going to be out for the rest of this week, so we haven't been able to see or talk to him. But it's wonderful to have him here. Thanks, buddy. So just real quick, I'm going to take 2 minutes, maybe 3, to go through these real quick because I know we want to spend a lot of time talking about the swag store. So we want to make a list of some of the things that went really well. When we decided to do Hacktoberfest this year, it was, to be honest, it was a little bit of a last minute decision. I joined in July and we officially formed the DevRel team at that time. So we had a couple of months of just kind of getting the team going and getting up to speed. And then in September, there was questions about, well, are we going to do Hacktoberfest again? We haven't really been prepared for it. And I talked to everybody and the consensus was, we have to. I mean, come on, this is like the Olympics of open source, right? Like we got to do something. So we wanted to do it, but when we talked about it on the DevRel team, we didn't want to just phone it in and say, hey, go submit something and we'll send you a t-shirt. We could have done that. That would have been fine. Some people do. But we were really interested in some of the stuff that we were trying to do with working on Foundry, getting some of those template submissions. And we had some crazy ideas on some other cool things we wanted to do. So coming into this, we decided that we were going to do some experiments. We were going to try some different things. We were going to try to be ambitious and, do some kind of stretch ourselves a little bit, especially since we didn't have a ton of time to get ready. And so here's kind of where we ended up. One of the first things is, as you all know, we actually created an Appsmith app for Hacktoberfest, and it was interactive, had a GitHub authentication. It wasn't a true authentication, but it was a first step, which I think was a great start. It made it easy for people to keep track of what was going on. All the information was there. We also had this crazy idea. This was a very last minute idea. It was this idea of these mini quests. So every week having a little thing that you could do to earn a coin, star a repo, or do some of those things that are quick and easy but interesting. Really, people have a lot of fun with this. If you have ideas for future events on mini quests we could do, drop them into the comments. Hit us up on the Hacktoberfest channel on Discord. Let us know. We also, as I mentioned, we wanted to make sure we were doing template submissions as well as code submissions. We wanted it to be as accessible for people. And in fact, we didn't get to show it, but we actually had a couple of cool submissions that won some prizes that weren't even code. They were just really cool UI examples, which was one of the categories that we had. So really trying to double down on that and make it as accessible as possible. One of the more ambitious ideas that we had was the swag store, and this idea of earning coins or credits or whatever you want to call it, and being able to choose your own reward as opposed to just everyone gets the same reward. That was a very ambitious thing. We really stretched there. As you saw, there were some things there that didn't go quite as smooth, but it all worked. The other thing that we found as part of that was we found a really good print-on-demand partner to work with that did support global shipping. That was a question we got a lot because sometimes when these events happen, they only ship to the US or US and maybe Europe. We wanted, our community is global. We're everywhere in the world. So we wanted to make sure that we could get to everywhere in the world, and that worked out pretty darn well. Another thing that worked out really well, which is a testament both to the platform, but mostly to the team, was the teamwork. So the DevRel team, there's 5 of us. We all have our different expertise and areas. I was trying to do as much of the coordination and doing a lot of the building. So if you didn't like the design, you can blame me. I'm not a designer. But every time I turned around and I had a problem or we were running late with something or I needed help, everyone on the team pitched in to help get this stuff done. Joseph's going to talk about how we actually built the separate swag store, which was, it was definitely a community effort. We kind of broke it into pieces. Different people did different pieces, and then we combined them at the end, which was a really, really awesome way to do that. Can we go to the next slide real quick?
Yeah.
This is what can be improved. I could say this is what didn't go well, but the way that we do things here at Appsmith is we try and talk about the plus and the delta. So what went well and what can be improved. Obviously, as I mentioned, we were this was a little bit last minute. For our future events, we definitely want to make sure that we're more on the ball, not only to get the build done, have things ready, but also do some testing. Some of you found some issues or bugs with our app because we were just moving quick, shipping fast and breaking things, and you found the broken things and helped us get alerted and fix them. One challenge that we had was some of the mini quests were a little delayed in getting published because it was a manual process. We did keep them open. Some of them were open longer than a week. Some of them, I think weeks 2 and 3 were open at the same time for a while. So everyone had time to get them, but it kind of ruins the flow of this weekly thing when it doesn't quite go. So figuring out how to schedule those so that it's on a timer and it actually is a week, like actual quests would be good. We did get some requests for some email notifications. All the emails that we did were manual, but when you register, it'd be nice to get a registration email, and you'd have some of your details there, links, information. Would be nice to know when you had completed a quest or when the time was up. So the automation of communications would be helpful. All of the order updates were also a fairly manual process. Once the orders were entered, you did get emails, so that helped from the platform. But it would be nice in the future state, which we'll talk about in a minute, being able to kind of a little bit more self-service, kind of see the status, see what orders were in, those types of things, which ties into the next piece, which is unified profile data. So we did collect and allow people to kind of create a profile based on their GitHub auth. And also, like, you got to have your address, so we're going to ship to you, things like that, showing kind of how many coins you got, what submissions you had. That worked out okay, but we could definitely improve on that. And actually, moving forward, this has been so successful. We want to make this an ongoing project. So you shouldn't have to put in your address every time you want to get something shipped to you. You should be able to go back and look at all of the stuff that all of the rewards you've gotten, all the coins you've gotten, all the submissions you've done, and that should have some type of record for you, and have some type of point system or badges. That's some of the stuff we're talking about right now. And then making that whole process for submitting templates, as Vahar mentioned, easier, faster, more convenient. Lots of great stuff. We've gotten a lot of inspiration from the event and what worked and what can go better. That is a major part of the planning that we're doing right now for the next year. So you're going to see some really cool stuff coming out of that. I don't know, any other comments, Vahar or Joseph, on that before we go into the fun stuff?
No, Ron, I think you got them all. Yeah, Joseph, go ahead.
Yeah, I've got a few, but it's more specific to the swag store. So when we get to that section as we're showing that, I think I can kind of add to the points that you talked about with the teamwork on building the app and everything.
Well, I think we're good. I think that's the next thing, right, Vahar? We've got
yeah,
swag store demo. So we'll turn it over to Joseph, and you can show us some of the cool stuff.
Okay, you guys see this?
yes, we can see it now.
Cool. All right, so I can't take all the credit on this. Ron had actually connected the GitHub OAuth and figured out that login portion first, and then a really cool, just the way that we pulled everything together here. This template app is an e-commerce app that I had made. I made this template a couple months ago, and since we needed something similar with a way for users to add items to a cart and then count, we want to put all these items in a local, like a client-side table first. It's not official. They haven't saved it. They might remove an item. So it builds all that data up in the client side. And so he copied this template, forked it, and converted this into our swag store. Ron set up Printify. He figured out, some products in here, got our logo and everything. So he did a lot of the work, but then
Vidushi also helped, just to be clear.
What's that?
Vidushi also helped. Vidushi's not on the call, but Vidushi's on our DevRel team,
Definitely.
and she did a lot of the stuff for the actual cart, getting things set up. So again, team effort. Just want to make sure she's called out too.
Yes. Thanks, Ron. So let's take a look at the app and the editor here. And if you're interested in the cart logic, the JavaScript, and storing it in the Appsmith store, you can actually fork the e-commerce template here. So some of the other stuff that we wanted to show is the logic behind that. Like when you go to add an item to the cart, you'll get an alert saying which item has been added. It's showing your coin balance. And so we were able to get a lot of that hooked up and working in time for Hacktoberfest, but there's a lot more that we want to add. And so I'm going to give you guys a quick preview of what's coming up in the version 2 of the swag store. It's not live yet, but we're working on some updates. And so I've added a few new products as well. There's a mouse pad now. We got a can cooler. There's this tote bag. And I've added some more images. So we're pulling in data from our vendor Printify using their API. and you just upload the image. It's like a drop shipping service, and so we can upload the image, and then it just generates all of these for us. And so we're adding more items. Yeah, and this is actually a table widget here. So it's taking the selected row of the table and then using that as the basically finding the nth image, where n is the selected row of this table. And then there's a list of images here, and it is able to just pass in that number into the array. So we did some kind of cool ways to connect everything, a lot of teamwork, a lot of, using existing tools. We had the template that was already built that we were able to build on top of. Then Ron added the GitHub auth part, and then I added, some more. Vidushi helped on a lot of it. It was just a really cool thing that we were all able to pull together in a short time. So it was an awesome experience doing the teamwork on it.
Really good stuff. Yeah. So I think what we'll probably have to do once we get the swag store officially launched, so you'll probably see that in about a month or so. We'll relaunch it with all the new updates and features. We'll probably have to go back and update the template again to put in all of that great stuff that we had. In fact, you could probably even just use the swag store as a template to a certain extent. That would be kind of cool. But that'll be coming out. And then I know there've been lots of questions about coins, like how can we get more coins? Like what can we do? One thing for sure that we're going to do is we really want to do another event in the spring, kind of like Hacktoberfest. It was really fun. We had a great time. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. So we're going to try and put something together. You'll hear more about that in the next month or so. Excuse me. So there'll definitely be that. But also, just so everybody knows, there have been questions on what other things can be done. We've looked at what other communities are doing and how some people will do like a monthly challenge or, event. And we've talked about some things like that. We want to make sure that whatever we do, kind of like we learned from Hacktoberfest, we do it properly. We've got the ability to scale it and do it well. We know when folks are enjoying it, having fun, we want to make sure that it's going to be something that's reliable. But in the meantime, while we're kind of getting those plans together, we're doing all of our planning for next year right now. Stay tuned. We'll definitely make sure that you know on what those things look like. We'll announce it on Discord, on Twitter, all the usual places. You'll probably see an email newsletter or something. But in the meantime, just know that the Magic Appsmith Coin Fairy is always watching and may choose to randomly reward people with coins based on helping out, based on making contributions. So just do what you normally do. Share, chat, that's part of what makes community great. And we'll definitely be taking some folks and sharing some coins out. Watch out, the Appsmith Fairy is always there, but until we get something more formal. Great. There's a link to our Discord channel. Unless everyone watching, if there's any questions, feel free to let us know. Vahar, can you pop up the last slide? We also have a link and a QR code for the deck itself. So if you wanted to go take a look at the deck, there's links to those people that we called out and some of those specific templates that we saw. So if you really want to check out some of the cool navigation or the debug feature on thechess.com, or you want to try out the QR code app, or look at the movie database at some of the cool things that they were doing behind the scenes, or all of the ones that we didn't have time to talk about, go ahead and use this. This will let you go dig in. Any other questions from the community or from anyone here? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Confidence, I'm not sure if you're still watching, but hopefully this is it's up to your standards. Confidence is like the expert video person. We're just trying to fill in. Cool. Well, if there's no other questions, I think we're good. We're about 35 minutes, so we're right about where we wanted to be. Joseph and Vahar, thank you both so much for joining, and the entire DevRel team, Confidence and Fiduci, who weren't here. Thank you both for all the help. And then the community. Thank you guys. Like, we would not be here if it wasn't for you. And we're working on making things better and making things easier and making things more fun. So stick around, stay tuned, and we will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, Ron. Thank you, folks. Bye.